You're listening to 94.4 FM Salford City Radio, the Friday Sports Show.
You're listening to 94.4 FM Salford City Radio, the Friday Sports Show, with your host, Jimmy Petruzzi, bringing you news from the local area and around the world. Today we're going to bring you news from the local area, from Salford, not too far away from here. We're very fortunate in this show. We've interviewed some of the world's best athletes, sports people, coaches, trainers, people in the field of psychology, who have been kind enough to share their thoughts around the area. We have a segment where we speak to some of the world's most influential people in the field of psychology. We're going to speak about speaking today, which is a phenomenon. Obviously, public speaking is huge, and today we're going to get more details about a TED Talk not far away from it, the University of Salford, a TED Talk, and the organiser, Gilbert, who's going to tell us a bit more about it, what it involves, and how we can sort of find out more information. So, Gilbert, welcome to the show. Great to have you on board.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and it's great to speak to you. So, just give us an insight in terms of the TED Talk. I mean, how did you guys sort of come about organising that with the university?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to talk about it. TEDxUniversity of Salford is an independently organised event, and it's actually licensed by the official TED platform, which actually gives us the opportunity as students and alumni of the University of Salford to organise a conference that is still licensed under TED. So we started off TEDx University of Salford about 2 years ago was when we got the license, and it was actually born out of the passion within ourselves as colleagues, as students, as alumni members too as well, to have the platform that would inspire the community, students, and even the global community. So that's actually what started TEDx University of Salford.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners will be familiar with sort of TED Talks, and I've certainly watched many of them myself, and I find them really fascinating, a wide range of different topics and speakers. In terms of the event, do you have some speakers confirmed at the moment in terms of that you can share with the listeners? Is that still sort of under wraps who's speaking, or?
Yeah, Jimmy. I mean, we already have got our speaker lineup complete. We've got a mix of very, very inspiring speakers coming to speak this year. We've got people like Professor Joe Sweeney from the School of Environment. We've got Dr. Paul Comfort from the School of Health and Society, and also we've got Professor James McVie from the Manchester Metropolitan University, mixed with other external speakers, people like Nola Walsh, Lovilda. We've also got external speakers too, also, who would be coming in, people like KW themselves, who are actually within the university too, will be helping out on the day. So fantastic lineup we've got, and we can't wait to really release the talks in the pipeline.
Absolutely, that's really exciting. Some really really great mix of different speakers there, and some sort of really big names from that as well. I think speaking in general, I think can be, for a lot of people, find public speaking quite daunting. I think TED Talks are really good to watch, and certainly for myself. But I've watched many TED Talks to try and improve my own speaking as well. But also it's great if the subject is great too. And just for our listeners, in terms of, say, how can they get some more information, sort of, Gilbert, around sort of the talk itself, how they can attend, and is there any sort of information that you've got they can sort of look into?
All the information can be found on our website, which is www.TEDxUniversityofSalford.com. The event itself will be on the 18th of June 2022. It will be a hybrid event. That means we will have a physical audience, and then people too can watch a live stream online too, because once participants or intending individuals wanting to attend register for the online tickets, we send a link and they can join on the day.
That's amazing that how you sort of hybrid. I mean, I suppose that's probably the way of the future, because a lot of people sort of got used to joining in online. And is that something that you're sort of conscious of in organising at Gilbert, that some people might want to just join from the comfort of their own home or uni or college, wherever they are in the world as well? So you've got the best of both worlds,
Absolutely. Wherever attendees are around the world, they could always join the online event.
Yeah.
As soon as the tickets are purchased, they get the ticket in their inbox. Nearer the time, we will share the joining link, and participants, attendees can always join using the link.
Yeah, and the sort of live event. Do you have an idea roughly how many people can attend live? Is that how much room is there for sort of people to attend?
At the moment we are admitting about 100 people.
Okay.
Into the physical venue, but then all of the attendees outside these would actually can join online.
Yeah. So you've got that balance between people can join in person, and I mean that's a big thing too. I think certainly over the pandemic, a lot of people missed the personal interaction as well, and to be there is a great experience too. But obviously having the option to join from wherever you are in the world is great too. And going into the future, I mean, you guys obviously the online one last year. It's hybrid now. Do you see this being like an annual thing, Gilbert? Or is something you're going to sort of carry on doing, or you're going to see how things go now, or just I know obviously you might not have the answer to that, but just generally speaking, do you see this ongoing?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually hope to create this as an annual event where we would have these fascinating speakers come on the platform to share their ideas that are worth spreading.
Yeah.
So we look forward to just repeating this every year, at least once a year.
Brilliant. And what's how have the speakers sort of received this? I mean, in terms of like getting involved, is it something that they seem to be really excited about? I think as a speaker, it would be really exciting to do, a TED talk. Is it generally an excitement around it as well?
Absolutely, Jim. The TED platform, as you mentioned initially, at the start of this, is actually quite a very popular brand. As we speak, it's got over 34 million subscribers. So it's something that's quite a global phenomenon, really. So the speakers are absolutely excited. They can't wait for the day to just unleash the ideas they've got under their belts.
Yeah, and I suppose for yourself, who's sort of been at the forefront of organising, it'll be nice to sort of be able to sit down and sort of see the event. Yeah, definitely. Just to sort of I mean, I guess you're looking forward to it yourself, Gilbert. To sort of, I can imagine being a lot of work involved for yourself. But I suppose for the day itself, will you have time to just take it all in yourself, or will you be sort of on edge?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Myself and the team were all on edge because. Definitely trying to deliver something else, because a TEDx event it doesn't come easy, as you just mentioned. So we can't wait, and this year I think we've got a few exciting bits coming in. Aside the speakers speaking, we will be having the music department with their creativity.
Okay,
We've got a group of individuals who would be using a technology called sonification. This would actually involve using data from the weather and even from some of the speakers' talk to play music.
Wow,
so that would be as part of the intermission to entertain the audience. So we're looking forward to how this will play out, and the team can't wait to see these things delivered.
Yeah, and absolutely. That sounds really interesting and amazing. That's for sure. It's certainly something different for sure. But really want to thank you for coming on board the show. It's been fascinating, and no doubt our listeners, they sort of know where to go. Just sort of to remind the listeners where the websites they can log on and get the tickets and sort of find out more about the event. The website was. I know you mentioned it, but sort of.
Yeah. It's www. TEDxUniversityofSalford.com.
Yeah, brilliant. That's fantastic. So it's only down the road from the radio station as well. So we are excited for you guys, and are sure it'll go really, really well. So thanks again, Gilbert, for joining us on the show. The 94.4. Brilliant.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Fantastic. 94.5 FM, Salford City Radio, the Friday Sports Show. Host Jimmy Petruzzi, speaking to Gilbert, who's been organising, at the forefront of organising the TEDx event at the University of Salford, just down the road. So get on that website and check it out. I'm sure it'll go, really will be a fantastic opportunity to see a wide range of speakers presenting some fascinating ideas. You're listening to 94.5 FM, Salford City Radio, the Friday Sports Show. Your host, Jimmy Petruzzi, bringing news from the local area and around the world. We bring Salford to the world and the world to Salford. I'm very fortunate show to be introducing the world's best athletes, sports people, trainers, coaches, you know, they're on the show. We have a segment speaking to some most influential people in the field of psychology and related fields. And today we have a fascinating guest who was on the show last year, and he's also part of the TEDx organising team at Salford University, which is down the road from us here, and she's going to give us an insight into how things went last year and what to look forward to this year for the event. So Andrea Stein, welcome to the show. Glad to have you on board.
Oh, thanks, Tim. It's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic to speak to you, and it's gone really quick since the last event, albeit circumstances are different, at least in the UK and most places around the world in terms of having to go online last year. But let's sort of start with last year's event. Reflecting on it was quite unique. I mean, I think everybody loves a TEDx talk. To be fair, I mean, I know I've watched a lot of them really, and but let's sort of reflect on last year. Was obviously over the internet for obvious reasons with the pandemic. But how did it go last year?
Well, last year was fantastic. For those of you who possibly are not aware, last year the University of Salford organised an independence event, TEDx, and generally last year it was more in the peak of COVID, so it was online, but it was our first event, which was a celebration because it was event number one, and because of the success of that event, we're actually lucky and happy to put on this event. And
brilliant.
We're hoping that this will be an annual event to come. So it was fantastic. We had participants coming from around the world, looking obviously onto the UK time zone, but all around the world, listening to our talks, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was a day filled of very interesting, inspiring talks. There was even breaks with yoga, so we could see some yoga being reflected on online workshops. So it was an absolutely fantastic event.
Brilliant. And my understanding, Andrew, it's a hybrid model this year. Am I correct in saying that, in terms of it's going to be available over the internet as well as in person, or what's the sort of, are you able to sort of share more information in terms of the event this year?
Yes, thank you. Jim, that's a fantastic question. So luckily at the moment things are looking good within the UK, especially with COVID. So we're going to have a hybrid event. So you can actually come along face to face on our campus, on Media City campus. Our face-to-face event is sold out, but if you have any questions, you can talk about your interests, and there might be some slots open or anything could happen. At the moment, there's also tickets available on Eventbrite as well, and they are all free, and you can watch online by Zoom, or that's the current platform we're using at the moment. But so that allows us to have a small amount of people in our sound stages and be there in the actual event, but also for health and safety, and also to have a wide range of international audience. It's nice to have a hybrid, so you can either watch in person or watch online.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and you've got an amazing set of speakers that, having spoken to sort of Gilbert previously, sort of shared some of the lineup of speakers, and it's an amazing. It must have been a lot of work involved. I mean, looking at it from the outside, and it's like, wow, it's a lot of work involved, obviously, for you guys as a team. And I suppose, do you get the opportunity, Andrew, to sort of, at what point do you get the opportunity to sort of just enjoy it? I can imagine at the moment, obviously, there's a lot of organising going on and your mind's on that, but do you sort of get to a point where you can actually just sort of sit back and enjoy it, so to speak?
Well, with the organising is really interesting. It's a lot of emailing of potential speakers, getting to know them, getting to know if they're willing to speak, and then once a speaker has agreed to speak, it's fascinating, and you have even more interactions and meetings with them, actually getting to know them and looking at the bios and seeing what they're going to be actually speaking on the day. With us, we're going to be definitely taking full advantage. We're going to be on the day, we're going to be wearing a TEDx t-shirt, so people will know who is on the organising team. So if you see one of us in a branded University of Salford TEDx t-shirts or hoodies, you know that we are one of the team members, and you can speak to us with any questions, and we will definitely be popping in and out of University campus, the soundstage, and having a listen to some of our fantastic speakers. They definitely they get some university alumni, some university lecturers, and people who have an interest in actually the city of Salford itself.
Brilliant, that's fantastic. And in terms of yourself, Andrew, like last year was a success, and back again this year. And is this something that you sort of, obviously, we'll cross that bridge when you get there, this event first of all, but is this something that you'd like to sort of carry on doing? I think it's great for the city of Salford to have an event like this at the university. Is this something that you would like to sort of carry on doing annually if possible?
Yes, definitely. As I don't know if you know, so I'm one of the PhD students, so a lot of us doing our PhDs at the University of Salford, and we decided to have this as a platform to share ideas. And so as a PhD student who happens to work at the university part-time as well, I definitely, it's something we as a team want to encourage and want to have on an annual basis, because we feel very strongly at the university, yes, these students as our PhD students, and we lecture as well, so we have basically put feet in both camps, and it's definitely something we want to continue. I'm happy to also carry on with this next year and even the year after, and it's a fascinating thing to be involved with at the University of Salford. Our team is growing, which is really exciting, and there's so many more ideas, and we can make this go so much broader. At least this year we actually are really happy and excited that now we are able to have this as a face-to-face platform, which will be really exciting as well.
Fantastic, and I suppose our listeners are wondering what the PhD is on, Andrew. Is you care to share for our listeners what the PhD is?
Yes, thanks, John. Yes, I'll be happy to. So my PhD, I'm doing a PhD in applied psychology. Yeah. So myself also have psychology background, and I'm basically looking at mental health, which is very applicable for Mental Health Awareness Week.
Absolutely, yeah.
So mental health, well-being, stress and coping, specifically in the PhD community, because a lot of students, mental health on the research journey is focused on undergraduate students and master's students. So I'm looking at knowledge gap and looking at PhD students. And what I'm doing is I'm tracking students over 3 years. And by interviews and surveys, we found out their experience. And obviously COVID has been an interesting theme of the journey, but the other themes as well, such as being an international student as well, and all these other interesting ideas. So it's quite interesting research.
No, brilliant, and that sounds fascinating, and sort of we wish you obviously all the very best with that, and the event as well. We'll definitely sort of keep an eye on that, and just sort of in terms of the website, Andrew, have you just want to for our listeners where can they go to sort of find out more in terms of the website for the event?
Yes, so it's University of Salford.com. And Jim will hopefully share that on the page as well when he promotes, obviously, promotes the talk. But if you can't find it, all you do is just search TEDx University of Salford, and you should find it. And it's 2022, and our theme is rejuvenation. And you can arrange tickets, and all the information is on that website.
Fantastic. And one of our some of our goals of the show is to increase awareness, participation in sport, but also bring the world to Salford and the Salford to the world. And you guys are certainly bringing the world, Salford to the world, which is fantastic for the community. So I want to thank you, Andrew, for coming aboard the show. It's been fascinating speaking to you. We look forward to the event, and we're sure it's going to be a success, that's for sure. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you for having me.
Brilliant, thank you. So you're listening to Salford City Radio 94.5 FM, the Friday Sports Show, host Jimmy Petruzzi, bringing you news from the local area and around the world. And one of the aims of the show, as we've spoken about on several occasions, is to increase awareness and participation in sport, but also bring Salford to the world and the world to Salford. It's really important to sort of build an awareness. Really, on the show, we've also had people from many different backgrounds. In terms of, we've had psychologists on the show, musicians, not just sports people, to reach a wide range of people. We want to increase awareness, participation in sport, but we also want to bring Salford to the world. And the theme of the TED Talk, it's certainly no better way than to bring Salford to the world. The university hosting a TED Talk, what a great way to showcase this fantastic city. Tim Francis, Director of Performance, Music, English and Dance at Salford, is going to give us a bit more insight in terms of his role in the event. Tim, welcome to the show. Great to have you on board.
Good to meet you, and thanks ever so much for calling me. This is a great opportunity.
No, it's fantastic to speak to you. And Tim, can you just give us a bit of an idea in terms of your sort of background and involvement in the event, please?
Well, Gilbert, one of the organisers, got in touch last year, and the last TEDx event was online. So we provided an hour's worth of material from our music students, and they challenged themselves with putting their music to video too, and we put that all together to be shown halfway through the TEDx event. So the music students were absolutely great, super quick in providing such great music for the event. Yeah. And this year, Gilbert came back again, which was great, and even better because it's now live and in person.
Brilliant, yeah. And so, from your perspective, is there any sort of different, preparing in terms of last year being mainly online, this year, my understanding is obviously in person, but it's also opportunity to join online. Does that sort of change the sort of, what you guys do in terms of, from the music perspective? Is there sort of any does that influence what you guys do from that point?
Yeah, it covers both areas. There are students who have interests in pre-recorded music, so obviously that does work incredibly well for streaming. They also work in arranging music to go on pre-recorded film, sometimes animation. So they are studying for a particular module called Audio for Media, which is very popular. Yeah. And they also have interests in performing music live. Yeah. So that's worked very much in our favour for this year.
Yeah. And there must have been a lot of preparation going into it, I would have thought, Tim.
Well, what I try and do is duplicate, the efforts and the work that the students are doing towards their assignments, and also their personal portfolios, and what they may be able to find within that to contribute to such events as this.
Oh, that's really good. That's a fantastic, idea and insight. So this gives them sort of an opportunity to sort of showcase, the hard work that they're doing on the course as well, no doubt.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, these guys are absolutely brilliant. They start with some huge potential, and they get into those classes, and then those ideas start to come to fruition. And of course, they have these amazing facilities to put all of that work ethic into some amazing music. And it's great that we can start to tell people about it and get them involved in as many opportunities as possible.
It must be like a buzz for them as well to sort of have the opportunity. TED is sort of known throughout the world. It's the talks themselves. They're sort of. I certainly sort of watched many of them, and it's a huge event. What's the sort of buzz been like amongst the students to be involved with such an event?
Well, the two guys that we've got this year are absolutely thrilled. I watched one of their performances back in January, and it's perfect for this year's events. The theme of rejuvenation and the ideas that they have for that are absolutely wonderful, and they were the right guys that could engage the audience, but also on a science level and a health level because of the sonification that they're using for their music.
And I suppose from the area Salford perspective, it's sort of we know Salford's a great sporting area as well, and in terms of the arts as well, and music too. And maybe a little bit of an insight in terms of what the course involves, if it's okay, Tim, just sort of for our listeners who are tuning in. We know proud of the city, produced a lot of good sports people, musicians and performers over the years.
Yeah, well, music at Salford has been here for nearly 50 years.
Absolutely.
We were the first university to design a popular music degree. Subsequently, we have a creative music technology degree. And most recently, we have a new degree in music management and creative enterprise. Going back to that point, 50 years ago, we had our band musicianship degree. And those are very much for students who are all seeking training and learning within professional musicianship on the stage, various types of orchestra settings. And then obviously modern technology coming through. These two particular students are from Creative Music Technology, one of the leading programs in the country, and they've brought forward their ideas as to the projects that they wanted to do this year, and we've embraced that, and we've let them run with it, and they've come up with some great ideas. And as I said earlier, it was a particular theme around sonification, so it will play perfectly into this year's TEDx rejuvenation event.
Brilliant, that's fantastic, and sort of no doubt it gives the audience an opportunity to really sort of engage in the experience. It sounds like an amazing experience, and long may it sort of continue. Is that something that sort of, I know obviously sort of you cross that bridge when you get there, there's the event this year, but is that something that sort of you guys are going to sort of consider to stay involved with the event?
Absolutely. The good thing about this is that last year was a tremendous success. This year, we'll surpass that if you can do that. Yeah. So the organisers themselves absolutely love the contribution, the style of the music, the type of the music, and of course, really enjoy working with the students who, pretty much are the professionals in that field. So, when it works and it's such a great partnership like that, then yes, we will continue to work together.
Brilliant, that's fantastic. Really want to thank you for your time, Tim. It's been really interesting, and with our listeners now, know where the music comes from as well. I think that's sort of great to sort of share an insight, and also to sort of share just how hard the students have worked on the program as well, and it's an opportunity to sort of to showcase some of the work they've been doing. So thanks for joining us, Tim. I wish you guys all the best at the event, and long may the event continue.
Great, thanks ever so much for talking to me.
Brilliant.